No way. Yeah,
No.
I can't. Like, I feel it was such a torture. Yeah, and I didn't feel like I got support.
Because
That
people didn't know what you're going
yeah,
through.
they didn't know. Yeah, so it was really hard for me.
Kendi,
Yeah.
thank you for your transparency. Earlier on, I was looking at celebrities who suffer from dyslexia, and I was very fascinated. It's a long list, but I would pick my favorites.
Okay.
So there is Whoopi Goldberg. She's dyslexic. Steven Spielberg, the movie filmmaker, he's dyslexic. Octavia Spencer, she's dyslexic as well. And then Anderson Cooper as well, the CNN news reporter. But what was really fascinating to me and to you, the question, two guys I really like are not dyslexic, but they have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. One of them is Michael Phelps, and the other one I saw was, I can't remember, but one really famous guy. So I was reading again about the symptoms of ADHD. A common sign of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder is what looks like inability to recognize other people's needs and desires. These can lead to the next two signs. The other sign is interrupting, all right? And trouble writing in turn. And trouble waiting in somebody's turn. So if it's in a kid, for instance, who has ADHD, and I was reading a story Michael Phelps was telling, he said he could not wait for his turn to play. So if, say he was on a queue and the he was fourth on line, he just jump and go and hit the ball before they would diagnose it as ADHD. ADHD, I beg your pardon. So interrupting while they are interrupting others while they are talking, or butting into conversation they are not part of. That is a sign of ADHD. And then trouble waiting for their turn, as I've said. Then fidgetness.
A lot, yeah.
They fidget. So somebody who has ADHD squirms in their chair and they have the inability to sit still. They cannot sit still. All right. And then finally, or maybe second last, unfinished tasks. They show interest in a lot of different stuff or different tasks, but they may have problems finishing them. And then finally, they lack focus. So my question to you is, what is the difference between ADHD and dyslexia?
Well, dyslexia is more on the learning.
On the learning?
Yes.
Okay. That's
And
plainly it.
Yes.
Is it possible to
learning-
have both?
Yes. Actually, 50% of those who have dyslexia have ADHD.
All right.
Yeah. When I read, a long time ago, when I read about Richard Branson,
Yeah.
and I read he has ADHD and dyslexia.
Yes.
But I don't know if I didn't see the dyslexia part.
Yeah.
I was remembering he has ADHD. Then I used to wonder, okay, do I have ADHD? But then when I read about it, it couldn't quite
Fit.
fit with you.
my story. Yeah. Until when I read about dyslexia. But when I went for diagnosis, the doctor told me they're cousins. I mean, 50% have both, 50% don't have it.
Eric, another person who was dyslexia, who had dyslexia, was Albert Einstein.
Oh, you did?
Who's I think if you have dyslexia, you're good at physics.
Yes.
You've said
Yes.
you're really
Uh,
good at
Actually, I was
Numbers.
very good. I remember, because while I used to feel very dumb, but then I remember one time during physics lesson, there was this very hard sum, and I was the only person who got it right in class. So the teacher asked me to go in front of the class and explain to the rest how I got it. Now, remember, I have issues with expressing myself.
Yes.
So I've done it in my book, she's seen, but I couldn't really explain it. So the teacher said, anyway, I'll explain, but how the way Kendi has done it, not unless you're very smart in maths, I'll have to show you a simpler way of doing this. So as much as I used to feel dumb, then I used to wonder, okay, how come then I'm able to do this that people find very complex? I'm able to get the concept, but I can't do the very simple things. Yeah.
So what happened now after you've cleared campus now. You've gotten your second class upper. You got into banking. Was it like straight in, and how did that go?
It wasn't. Well, I was called for 3 interviews first, all in banks. So I remember, because again of my challenges, of course, processing information when someone is talking, poor working memory. So I don't remember the whole question by the time you finish it. And then I have something we call difficulties with word retrieval. So sometimes I know what to say, but I don't have the words to say it.
Yes.
And of course, anxiety. I had serious anxiety.
Do you still have anxiety right now, as in normal cases? Has that reduced?
It has reduced. And when I did my diagnosis, the doctor told me not to put myself in situations where I'm made to be anxious. So I avoid them.
So you know how to
Like
manage
situations
it.
like you should put yourself in places like engage, like, very non-anxious places.
And you did well.
Oh yeah, you saw how nervous I was. Oh my gosh, yeah. What was I saying?
Yes. You were talking about the job 3
interview.
interviews.
Yes. So I didn't. So I approached my brother because I failed the 3 of them. So I approached my brother, my small brother again. So I asked him. I told him the questions I could remember from the interviews. They all sounded kind of similar. So could you coach me on how to answer a question like these ones? So he taught me how to go about them, and I actually now got a job after that. So he coached me on how to answer those questions. And I got into the bank. So of course, again, now you're trained before you're given the box, of course, to handle money. But then you're made to multitask. So you'll pay. You'll input information in the system. You're meant to cross-sell the bank's products. And then you have to be really fast because, again, you know how people complain if they keep for too long.
Yes.
Yeah. So, of course, I lost money because I can't multitask.
You can't
like,
multitask.
I can't watch. I find my husband and my son, they're watching something and they're laughing and they're here on phone playing a game. I'm like, women are supposed to multitask.
But
I can't.
Yes.
You guys are doing this. How is this possible? I can't do that. Even like when I'm chewing, the movement of my... it's a distraction when I'm watching something.
So you'd rather chew finish than watch
then I watch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's actually deep.
It is.
You see what you take for granted, chewing of your
Yes.
So I got a job and... I remember I was very nervous as a teller because at the back of my mind, I know I'm not
you're not like everyone else.
Yeah, I know I have my challenges. Probably no one knows about them, only me. But then when a customer is talking to me and you give me so many instructions, of course now I get nervous because I know for sure I'll not get all of them. So, and of course, if a customer points out that, makes me even more nervous.
Yeah.
Like, even now, the small concentration I had just disappears. And you're handling cash. So, of course, my probation was extended by 3 months. And, I felt, see, whatever I've been thinking about myself is true. How come
and everyone else excelled through their probation?
I think we were 13 or tellers who were taken then. And of course, only my probation was extended.
And so the rest, the 12 went through.
Yes. So how do you feel? Like, when you have a history? Of course, this confirms it. So even your self-esteem, your everything, you second guess yourself at every stage. And again, when I do like emails, of course, I know my English is bad. Like, I'm not sure where to punctuate what. Sometimes I say, when you're reading whatever I've written, you read it until where you get tired, just stop. Because no punctuation.
The way Eric has been telling us about people writing well, whoever he needs to date. You can't write bad emails.
Yeah, you read where you get tired, put for yourself a comma or a full stop, whatever suits
stop
you.
There.
Stop, take a breath in.
You will write and write.
Yeah, me write and write. Anyway, so I used to do emails and I would read through them. And of course, I would note tenses are all over and all that. I can tell it doesn't sound like it's been written by a graduate, leave alone.
No.
So I'll send it anyway because I'm thinking I have these good ideas that I need to share with someone. And of course, I couldn't tell my colleague proofread it for me. And then they'll wonder, how are you employed? With such poor English.
How did you get through campus?
Yeah.
Nyinyi ni wale mlipitia Harambee?
Yeah, exactly. So I'll send and hope whoever receives it will guess what I was trying to say.
Or be lenient.
Somewhere, yeah. Well, they would write back and say they didn't understand what I was trying to say. So
And it's in
that
the
story
bank.
So of course, again, you feel, okay.
But you rose up the ranks
Insufficient.
nonetheless.
Yes, I did. With time, I got a hang of things, moved 3 levels up. At the 4th level, I was acting as a manager. And I did that for almost a year. And then there was a vacancy for that position. Then I was told, of course, can't just be handed over to you. You need to do an interview like everyone else, oral interview. Now you remember my story with oral interviews.
And your
Yeah,
brother
I
is
didn't
not
change.
there.
Yeah, no one to...
Coach
Of
you
course, I
through.
didn't get it. I remember that day, I went home. I don't drink much.
Yeah, she doesn't drink much.
I
Like
took a whiskey flash. No, before that, actually, I told my sister, you know what? I really have been doing this job. I really, really want it. And I mess up in interviews. What do? Kuja, we go get prayed for. So we went to some
So
church.
hizo uko tipsy after hii whiskey?
No.
Before. Wameenda
So we
kuombewa.
went, nikaenda nikaombewa. The guy, she cut me, pushed me. I fell on the ground. I fell like, bas.
Pepper,
I have
yeah.
a
You have
job.
peppers imetupa.
Pepper,
You
yeah.
are ready for this job.
Cheki, unaitwa nani?
Candy!
Unaitwa nani?
Candy!
Hapana, ni pepo inaitika.
Mwoga wa interviews.
Cheki, mimi sijui kujibu swali kwa interview. Cheki, unaishi wapi? Gata.
Be nice.
Ah, my word.
So I went for the job interview. It was a mess. Went home, cried myself silly, took whiskey, blacked out. In the morning, the reality was still there.
You had not
I
done
went to work.
Kendi, just before you continue, supposing you knew what you learned last year,
Yeah.
do you feel like maybe you would have been better in terms of saying things like, you know what, guys, I am excellent at what I do, but because of the condition I have or I suffer from, I'm completely incapacitated in terms of expressing myself. Do you think if you had known earlier, you would have maybe done that and gotten the job?
Well, yes, I would have done that, but I'm not sure Kenya is ready yet
Yes,
for conditions like dyslexia.
true.
Like you tell someone you have dyslexia, the interview is over. Like they're already like at this one.
Well, they'll think
You've
it's...
been-
They already
They
rate
write
you.
you off.
Yeah,
Yes.
they'll write you off.
Despite your track record.
They'll write you
Yeah.
off. You have a condition.
Sure.
Then you go and Google and find out it's a learning disability.
And
like,
then
how
Google
are
can give you
here?
information and information.
Yeah, yes.
Please tell me that one of the people you sent the emails to who then proofread it and edited it was Mr. Oketch.
Mr.
And
Oketch
there was-
didn't even know
and there was
that
silence
the
in
wife
heaven.
was suffering from dyslexia.
We're gonna get there,
Oketch.
Barbara. You didn't get the promotion.
I didn't get the job.
You
Yeah.
didn't get the job. So is that when you decided you're gonna go into business?
Yes.
Because
of course, like-
let me tell you why your story is so interesting. Because she's Eric. She has all of these achievements.
Yeah.
Like she's achieving, and yet she keeps like you keep saying that. Now I'm wondering, why am I dumb? You get like after all those achievements, I'd be like, squaring my chest and saying, hey, I'm doing something. So the reason I'm driving you in this journey is I'm wondering, and I'm sure you're gonna get there.
Yeah.
Why you still felt that you're dumb in quotes, because you're not, and you are still achieving the way you are achieving. We're gonna come back with the story about how you started your business. Which was the first business you went into?
Facility management.
Facility management.
Yeah.
And where did you meet Barbara?
In the facility
In the
management.
facility management.
Oh, so you guys go way back.
Yes, we are business partners.
So where did you meet Barbara? Where did you meet with
when
Kendi?
she was at the bank?
Yeah.
Oh, you met at the bank.
Yes, to a friend when she was the bank.
Actually, when I was selling